Happy New Year, my lovely Taurus. Welcome back to lovefromaleo. It is a new year. I'm actually recording this in December, so I'm kind of having to channel that type of energy. But nonetheless, this is your January reading, so welcome to 2020. So when I was shuffling for the energy of, what's going to be going on for your month of January, we got the Saturn card. And so Saturn's influence usually brings in ambition, working hard, setting and achieving goals. Sometimes it can represent limitations and responsibilities. I definitely think it's one of those energies where you learn from certain things. If you're making the right decisions, then the benefits and the rewards that you get from Saturn are astronomical. But if you are not working with that energy, it can be really detrimental to what you're trying to build. Let's go ahead and look into your cards here. So usually I start with the past, but I'm going to start with your present. So in your January, what you're looking at is the World card in reverse. So let's say like you had a goal in mind and you were working on it for months and months and months. And for some reason, whenever the goal or the target time that you approached, it didn't hit the target. You didn't finish the goal on the right mark. And this could be because you were distracted, or maybe just because things were not aligned, or maybe you had your calculations wrong. There's something, or maybe even a habit or a trait that you were still not letting go of. And this is making it to where you couldn't move on to the next chapter. Because the World card in reverse, it kind of just gives me this feeling like something was incomplete, or you haven't finished the goal that you set in the first place. So let's go ahead and look back into your past so we can see how this is even associated with your present. Ten of Wands in reverse. So you needed to put action into something. Eight of Swords in reverse. I think mentally you were finally starting to understand your stance in things in the past month. And the only thing that you needed to do was to start adding and putting in the actual, physical assertions. Mentally, you stepped up in your past month. But physically, there were still some things lacking. This could have even been financially. So some of you needed monetary assistance as well. So maybe that's why you couldn't physically do what you needed to have something start, So it's like you had the idea. I think you even had the courage to not be so afraid to take on the task that you wanted to take on. But it looks like there were still some physical limitations, King of Wands in reverse. So you could have caused this situation in the past, or maybe a fire sign around you, or just someone around you, including yourself, could have said something or done something that just made it impossible for you to be able to cross a bridge because you burned it. The King of Wands in reverse is about putting your foot in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So saying something that is inappropriate, or saying something that offends someone that you may need in the future. Coming off too abrasive, too assertive, too aggressive, even too flirtatious. So it really just depends on what situation you were in where you did the wrong thing at the wrong time and it caught up with you. Yeah, so it just kind of made it so, yeah. Okay, so Ace of Wands, for some reason I was going to skip this, but I feel the need to say this. This situation could have dealt with sex or some type of like flirtatious or sexual tension or passion. So let's say maybe you were just being too out there. Maybe you were flirting with the boss and then you found out the person had, a spouse or something. I don't know. Doing too much and it backfired. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. So that's what was happening in your past, Taurus. I think a lot of you are kind of, now I wouldn't say ashamed, but I think you're looking back and you're like, maybe I should have did something different, or, that's something that I would rather not think about as a memory, So yeah, you're just kind of letting things play out. So that's what leads us into your present. But before we move into that, I do want to see who was a part of this situation that you may have burned that bridge with in your past. This definitely could be a Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. And even with saying that, we do have the Hangman card that came out. So you definitely are just kind of letting the cards fall how they may with that Pisces, or with that Piscean energy that you kind of burned the bridge with. I think almost to the point where even if you felt like you needed to call and apologize, you haven't done it yet because you wanted things to kind of settle, because that's just how tense and awkward things are right now for you guys. So for those of you who are having issues with figuring out what to do with that person that you felt like, you may have crossed the line with, or if they crossed the line with you, what should be done about that situation? It came out very fast. We have Six of Wands. Six of Wands. I feel like this is saying take your losses and take your wins. Where if you feel like this is a loss, just take your L. Like, just move on. If you feel like you won the situation, then, you know, stay in that energy. It doesn't mean that you need to be boastful about it, but just know that you were right in that situation. And if that person disrespected you or something, then you have every right to, you know, not be so friendly with them. It doesn't mean be rude, but, you know, like, you know if you were right or wrong in the situation. So it's just like, don't be afraid to hang on to that title. That's what the Six of Wands is giving me. So in your present, during your January, remember we were saying something didn't get completed. So it definitely could have had something to do with that Pisces. Knave of Cups. I think there was a trust, or there was some type of bond that you had with that person, or some type of water sign. It definitely could have been a relationship, because we have Two of Cups, and right behind that, the Two of Wands. So you guys were in a relationship, and you guys were trying to expand. You guys were trying to fine-tune the connection that you guys had together. That's what you guys were doing this month, but I feel like for some reason it's not going to work out in the way that you think it is. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and there's still a lot of cooperation that needs to be met, compromises that need to be met. And I think you'll get to that point, but it's going to be in a way that you don't necessarily expect. It isn't going to be something that you hate. It's just going to be something that you didn't necessarily ask for, but you asked for it. You'll be comfortable with this, but it's not going to be exactly what you thought it was, you know? But nonetheless, it will get you to the next phase. So with all that being said, I feel like there's things that you know about this person or about this union that you're trying to make work. And maybe it will work, maybe it won't. But what the cards are saying is like, there's a lot of work that has to be put into it. So I guess that's going to determine if it works out or not. Depending on who you and this person are, we'll see in just a second. If you guys have the endurance, the tenacity, if you have the desire, you know, to make it work, you will. And if you don't, then it's going to show. You know, you're going to see that the person isn't putting in any effort, or you're going to see that the person isn't on the same page. So that could be kind of awkward, you know? Who is this with during your January? Oh, okay. So we have a Virgo. Virgo sun, moon, rising, and or Venus. So this could be a totally different person that you're trying to make things work with. This could be a person from your past, but it's definitely not that Pisces person. So yeah, but it looks like you're trying to make something work with this Virgo. That's why you guys have a hard time, because you're a person who maybe isn't looking so deep into the details. You're looking at the bigger picture, and they're looking at all the details. But if you guys can learn to work with that and bring it together, it could be beautiful. But if you guys keep stepping on each other's toes, and that's where things start to get a little wonky. I am seeing that this person, like, they're like-minded, you know? I see Virgo here, you're Taurus. So even if they're not a Virgo, maybe they just have like the same type of goals or the same type of mindset as you. So I feel like you guys have the potential to make things work, but it's more so about what are you willing to put in? How much effort are you willing to invest into this relationship? So for those of you who are trying to figure out what you should do, let's see what Spirit has to say. Okay, so we got Chariot, which is the Cancer card. So just like I was saying, you guys have the same type of goal, or you have the same type of mindset. What's happening is you guys both need to use your strengths to nurture the relationship, to nurture and put life into whatever it is you're trying to create. Whether this is a business endeavor, whether this is a family, a friendship, working, trying to get close back with a family member, if this is who this is. It's almost like you guys have to learn how to use your opposing sides to work together. So like I said, find your strengths separately. You guys need to find your own strengths and then put those together instead of trying to have both of you guys do the same things. Does that make sense? Like, stop stepping on each other's toes. Oh, that's interesting. I don't really know. Let's see. Let's get a little bit more details on that. What type of relationship is this? It said earlier, it was saying it was like a romantic one, but if it wasn't romantic, it was just blissful. But I want to get a little bit more detail on that. For some reason, I'm feeling called to do that. Okay, so we got the Strength card in reverse. So I think this is someone that you were very close to at a particular time. Maybe you relied on this person. Something happened and it caused the trust to be lost. Maybe you feel like this person was weak in a certain situation, or they weren't as loyal as they could have been, or maybe they did something that you just thought they would never do. And so you just felt like a bit of betrayal from them. Both of you guys, I feel like both of you guys felt that. Here's the Chariot card again, guys, look. So it's like, yeah, you guys you guys have the ability to create something very powerful, like a force almost. But it's like you guys have a really hard time not stepping on each other's toes. Or one of you is always like going back to something that happened in the past instead of focusing on what you guys could have in the future. So yeah. So then that leads me to say, like, if you're in a situation that's just, you keep trying, it's not working out, this is the time to just let it go. But for those of you who have the drive and the will to want it to work, maybe you should. But if you have someone, or you guys are both still just, like, living in the past, then it's probably not, it's not going to be easy to keep going in this situation. But you'll know, because if you keep trying and it's not supposed to work out, energy and universe will let you know for sure. Trust me. All right, so let's just go ahead and move into your future. So this is a kind of like a forecast into your February. So the energy that I'm seeing so far is the 10 of Swords. Now, keep in mind, since this is going into your February, the decisions you make during this time can change what happens in your future, obviously, because you have free will. But nonetheless, this is the energy that it's surrounding around, whether it's positive or negative, you're still going to be in this situation, okay? So 10 of Swords. There's something that's being repeated. There's something that won't be let go of. And I'm not sure why there's a dead horse that's being beat. I almost feel like someone's being tortured, or someone's being like persecuted over and over. Like they made one mistake and this person is like hanging over their head. Or maybe someone is like repeating something over and over to someone. It's because they won't listen. So it's not necessarily that I feel like someone is doing the same things. It's more like they're saying the same things, or they're trying to enforce the same mentality, or they're trying to explain why they feel the way that they do. They're trying to get their point across because it's not reaching the other person. Idealistically, this person has a vision of something. It could be you. Yeah, it probably is you because I have Taurus here. But I think this is like the everyday details of life, you know, with the Knave of Pentacles. It's like somebody wants this, what's the word I'm looking for? Or I'm hearing lovely day, the lovely day. Like somebody wants that all the time. And you can have that, but for some reason it just doesn't work out because someone keeps going back to that hurt. Someone has a wound that is not healed. And every time it starts to heal, someone rips the Band-Aid off, or someone, reopens the wound. And that's what I'm seeing here. Who is this person that's doing this? So who is this with? Let's see. Who is this in relation to? Okay, so we got Mars. So this could be Scorpio, this could be Aries, right? Or this could just be someone who's very masculine in the way that they come across. Someone who's very combative. So this is who you're dealing with, right? And I'm seeing 2 10s here. So it's like there's a completion that happens, but it's like every time you get to the finish line, something else comes back up. Something else is created, with this 3. There's a creation that comes with the two of you guys coming together, And then when that comes together, it's like, okay, but there's something that's created from there. There's a memory that comes up, or there's something that's said that's offensive to somebody. It's like you can never just get to the finish line with this person. So then what's the point of even, attempting to make it work? Why are you attempting to make this work? Okay. You're trying to be fair about a situation. You're trying to give something a fair shot. You see this person as someone that is a leader, or maybe you find this person warm, enthusiastic. Maybe they give you some type of inspiration. And you want to have that balance. Maybe they bring balance at certain points of your life. But from what I'm looking at, it's like there's just no ending to the cycle. Let's just go ahead and look at the advice, because that's confusing. Definitely with this situation, depending on what you do during your January, is definitely going to affect the temperament, the environment, the scenario of that future situation. Because it's like the scales or something, like the Libra scales. And I feel like they're loose. And so it's like you go one way or it can go the other way. There's no definite answer for sure. Because it's every decision that you make is going to lead up to whatever the future is in the first place. But it's like the situation anyways is so slippery. It's so, it's hard to keep. It's hard to maintain. It's very chaotic, if I can say that, So let's just look into the advice. King of Pentacles. So this is, up your alley. This is Capricorn energy, but obviously that's a sister sign to you. So, okay, with that situation, King of Pentacles is basically just focusing on the material values of things and focusing on obtaining the material things that you want in the world. So maybe with this situation, instead of being so emotional, maybe it's saying be more practical about the situation, because it seems like every time there's emotions involved, things just get too out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always something that's brought up. So maybe if you keep it more business, practical, and you know, things like that. I almost want to say like just keep things systematic. Like keep it very routine. Don't try to switch it up. Don't do things that are out of whack or out of the blue. Keep it planned. If you're a business partners with someone, or if you're working with someone, just be very like upfront about what you have planned, and let them be upfront. You guys make sure that you have the schedule together, and then boom, everyone just do what they were supposed to do. What you said you were gonna do, make sure you do it, and that's it. Because every time you guys get too close or try to work too close together, it just doesn't work out. Don't take it personal. I think that's the message for the future for sure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This one was a lot going on, but I just feel like that it's just because you're meeting new people. I think you're starting to exercise your freedom. You're starting to get out there into the world more, and so it's starting to show with these different people coming into your life, and maybe even some old people trying to come back into your life. And so yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting to see how that unfolds. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see the February readings and all the signs, obviously, so you can cross watch. You can email me if you would like a private reading at lovefromaleo@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Happy New Year. Bye.